Welcome back. We're doing a little revised packing video of these toiletries because now, rather than just packing for a regular weekend domestic trip, I'm actually going on an international trip for 10 days. Since I thought that the contents would be a little bit different, I wanted to go ahead and show you how I would pack this exact same toiletry bag for a longer amount of time with different needs. On the whole, this entire pocket stays packed. I switch things out occasionally as they run out. So for instance, I just put this new dry shampoo in, but things that I usually keep in here are contact solution, dry shampoo, the Rosarco Milk Reparative Leave-In Conditioning Spray, cotton rounds for toner, and I got this little Travel Belief toner in a recent Sephora kit, and Q-tips. I reuse and refill this thing all the time. Every single time I curl my hair, I use a texture spray afterwards just to sort of give it a little more grit and a little better hold. And then I have a soy face cleanser from the brand Fresh. The next compartment over here is where I keep makeup brushes. I've tried to wipe this down a couple times and it's not coming completely clean. So we're just sort of rolling with it. So I typically like to pack my brushes and my makeup that goes in this lower compartment all at the same time and do it in order of me putting on my makeup. So the first thing that I put on is moisturizer. So I've already got one here. This is the Ola Her Skin Sea Rush Brightening Gel Cream. I also use an eye cream during the day. And so the one that I'm currently into right now is the Origins Ginseng Refreshing Eye Cream to Brighten and Depuff. And then I go in with a primer. This is my favorite primer with the current foundations that I have. This is the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. So then I would typically move on to a BB cream, CC cream, foundation, something. This is the winner these days. This is the Misha Perfect Cover BB Cream in the shade number 23. This does not require a brush or a beauty blender. I like how this applies with my fingers the best. So this is the perfect travel companion. So next, I put on concealer. So this is the easiest concealer to travel with. I actually went out and bought a brand new one specifically for this trip. And this is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. And I believe mine is in the shade Fair. It's so easy. You don't necessarily need any sort of beauty sponge or anything to spread this out. It works perfectly when you just use your fingers. After that, I typically set my under eyes with some type of powder. This is the Ibby Beauty Highlight and Contour Palette, and this is the setting shade that I've been using. So this is going to come with me. It's sort of excessive because this is the only powder that I use, but I don't have any other at the time, and setting my under eyes is a little bit non-negotiable for my oily self. So, and to set my under eyes, I typically use this brush from e.l.f. This is the e.l.f. small tapered brush. Next step for me is to use blush. Now, I think the best course of action is going to be for me to use this e.l.f. palette. This actually has two blushes, a bronzer, and a highlight, so this is the perfect travel companion. So to apply my blush, I use this one from Real Techniques. It doesn't have a name on it, but I'm pretty sure that this is just called the blush brush. My only gripe with these are that the handles are so thick and you really have to wedge them in here. Don't love that. This is what I've been using for bronzer lately. It's the e.l.f. blending brush. It's just the perfect thing for getting the perimeter of your face. So I've really enjoyed that. And it's small, so it fits nice in there. And then this is typically the brush that I use for highlight. This is the e.l.f. Angled Blush Brush. This is my favorite travel palette of all time. This is the Too Faced Natural Eyes. I really love how small and compact this is. I like that it's tin because it doesn't get beat up easily. And it's just super natural. It has everything that you need. I use this or this shade as my transition. And for my transition shades, I like to use this brush. This is by Mally. Then I move on to like a shimmery shade all over the lid. That's typically this shade, or this shade. And for those, I like to use a brush like this. This one happens to be the Royal & Langnickel Balm 40 Shader Brush. So next I would use one of these darker shades on the outside of my lid. And for that, I really like to use this brush by e.l.f. This is the e.l.f. Contour Brush for the outer corner. And then lastly, I use this shade right here as my like brow bone highlight. And for that, I like to use the e.l.f. Eyeshadow C Brush. I have the travel version of the Laura Mercier Loose Setting Powder and the big version. Once you run out of this, purchase the big one and then just refill the small one with it every time. For that, I like to use this Real Techniques powder brush to apply that. Next step for me is eyebrows. This is the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Shape and Fill. And then next I do liquid liner only on the top. And so this is the NYX Epic Ink Liner. And then lastly, I put on mascara. So I'm bringing both of these. This is the Rimmel Scandalize. This stuff makes my eyelashes so long, so voluminous. It really does hold up to the name. So I have to put this on to like make my lashes go big and voluminous and thick and long and luscious. And then I have to put this on top to prevent the transfer. That's everything for daytime skincare routine and makeup. So now we got to move on to nighttime skincare routine. What I typically do is cleanse my face. So I have this Belif Creamy Cleansing Foam Moist Foaming Facial Cleanser. I'm actually going to be traveling with my Foreo Luna Fofo, and I do like to keep it in this case, but it broke. So I've got to figure out a better way to transport this, but this will be going with me to be used in conjunction with this cleanser. After I cleanse, I typically tone, and as we saw up here, I have my toner and my cotton pad ready to go for that. And then after I tone, I typically like to use some sort of exfoliator. Now, this is my favorite kind. This is the Paula's Choice Skin Perfecting 2% BHA Gel. This is 3.3 fluid ounces, so I could fly with this because the limit is 3.4, but because this bottle is so big, I just don't know if it's gonna be worth it to take this with me. After I exfoliate, I typically put on a facial oil. This is the Lancer Omega Hydrating Oil. This, you just put like 2 or 3 drops on your face and spread it around, let it soak in, and then you follow with a nighttime moisturizer and eye cream. Here's the eye cream I've been using. This is the Belif Moisturizing Eye Balm. And then we have the nighttime moisturizer. I'm gonna bring the Paula's Choice Resist Barrier Repair Moisturizer with Retinol. This is only 1.7 fluid ounces, and we should all be brushing our teeth. So another thing that I have in here is floss. I'm currently working with this Colgate Enamel Health Fresh Mint. Some other things lying around in here. This is this Bedhead Mini Masterpiece hairspray. Not my favorite hairspray, I'll be totally honest. Contact case, definitely necessary. It's always good to throw an extra pair of contacts in your toiletries just in case. Swimming around in here is also a disposable razor. And then I also have ponytail holders here if I want to pull my hair back. Something that I think will be helpful, especially if I just want to refresh and I'm not wearing much makeup, is to pack some of these cleansing cloths. These are the e.l.f. Hydrating Cleansing Cloths. And I think I'm actually going to put these with me in my backpack and my carry-on, because for the international flight, I don't want everything that I use to be packed away in my suitcase and not easily accessible. I want to go ahead and put in this face sunscreen as well. I'm currently out of my natural deodorant, and this is what I already had in the stores, so I had to switch back to the traditional for a second. And this is the Secret Calm Birch Water Deo. And then these are the clips that I use when I'm doing my hair. I think in general, it's a good practice to bring fingernail clippers along. And this is what I use all the time, every single time I wash my face, to hold my hair back. So that can squish into very small places. So because, again, this is an international trip, I wanted to go ahead and show you some adjustments that I'm gonna make to my toiletries to make my life on the plane a little easier. I typically keep my contact solution in this compartment right here. Because I want to take my contacts out on the plane to sleep overnight, I'm going to go ahead and remove this contact solution that's a little less than half full and replace it with my full one so that I have a filled one to last me the rest of the time on my trip. And again, I think I only need to bring one contact case, so I'll go ahead and put this in my backpack with me. One more thing that I usually pack that's very specific to me would be my retainer. So I can just go ahead and place this case in here. This is ready to be completely packed into my suitcase. So now that I've walked you through the big toiletry case that's actually going to be packed with me in my suitcase, this is the toiletry bag that I'm going to pack with me in my backpack. And inside you can see that I've sort of transferred some of the things that we talked about packing into this bag. One thing that I realized is that we actually have 2 days on our own where we're staying at separate Airbnbs. So we went ahead and packed, this is conditioner, body lotion, body wash, and shampoo for those Airbnbs. And, you know, worst case scenario, we lose all of our luggage or something. I don't know, we can shower, I guess. Another thing is deodorant. This is probably something that I'm gonna wanna refresh on. This is aloe. I actually think I'm gonna transfer this to my big toiletries. I put the little Foreo face washer in here as well in case I wanted to wash my face on the plane. This is the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. These are makeup removing wipes that I can keep with me just in case I don't have a bottle of water or something to use to wash my face with this. This could get the job done. A face mask just in case I want to do that at some point on the trip. And then I have contact solution and a contact case here. Back here I have my toothpaste, and my Sonicare toothbrush is going to be packed separately, and then a lip balm with SPF. So yeah, this is everything that's gonna go with me in my backpack for me to use on the plane.